With Bitcoin receiving its highest weekly close in over a month, in the weekly chart signaling to Moonboys worldwide that a pump of biblical proportions might lay just one micro bust away. This week has the chance of being larger than a black hole, or even potentially larger than two black holes combined. So if you understand, things are always dumpiest before they're the pumpiest. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, get signed up to BINGX below. You have about 1 week left to sign up, where you will not be required to KYC. And without any further ado, let's absolutely dump on into potentially what is going to be the biggest week of this entire bull market, where when I look at bull markets, the main things I like to see are the buildup to the true bust. We can go all the way back to the last bull market, where it was right in this range towards the end of 2020, where we finally started lifting up above the previous all-time highs here. And it happened very quick. It was the very end of 2020. December of this year will be exactly 4 years to the month of that bust. Can we anticipate that maybe we'll see that happen November or December of this year? Could it even come a little earlier, just like the all-time high break also actually came a little bit earlier? Hey, it's pretty possible. This is the entire cryptocurrency market chart, not Bitcoin specifically. Bitcoin already put in new all-time highs, and the entire crypto space as well is looking very much like it is about to start lifting off. This chart basically looks the same as Bitcoin, except Bitcoin has a new all-time high right here, whereas the entire cryptocurrency market chart did not put in a new all-time high. The entire crypto market chart did not, because basically altcoins have been getting banged, banged up and down. Bitcoin hasn't been doing too bad. I mean, it's only a couple $1,000s below the all-time high set a couple years ago, where now the new all-time high was set back in March around 74,000. But yeah, altcoins are still absolutely completely battered, bruised, just completely banged. Altcoins still look absolutely horrible. I think that'll change soon, but first I think Bitcoin's going to need an absolutely massive giga upside pump. So on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, as we pointed out, and it's very, very important. I hope everyone's talking about this, which I think most people are, but the weekly RSI has begun breaking out. The weekly MACD as well is getting very close to actually having its first flip to positive momentum since all the way back in October of 2023, when Bitcoin went from about 28,000 up to about 74,000. This was like the real first leg of this. If we zoom in here, in my opinion, right here, this was all just bottoming in this range. But this parabolic move from the the beginning of September up to the end of February was like the first real leg of this macro bull trend, in my opinion. And I think we're basically very close to seeing that second leg, which will look something like this. Could be much bigger, could be smaller, but I think we're about to see a multi-week, multi-month pump to the upside. It still could be a couple of weeks away, but honestly, all of these signs right now are showing themselves on the chart. So I personally am not going to ignore them. They're getting extremely close. You can see the MACD there, very close. RSI is already doing it, on the weekly. Right now, we have the 21-week as acting as potentially resistance right here. We just bounced off the 50-week, so that's exactly what we needed to see. When I made that video, when I was making the videos, I think I only posted 1 or 2 videos that week. But back in this week, all I said was we basically need a bounce here. We need it at this moving average, and we got it. And that just basically gives us the ability to actually enter a big pumpy, a multi-week, multi-month pumpy. The daily chart as well, we see exactly this 200-day moving average is right where this support or this resistance is currently. We very rarely go below it, and when we do go below it, it usually signals that. In fact, it does signal hey, that basically we're going to flip it soon and start going up. I mean, the last time we concretely went below it was back in September and October, August, September, October. Bitcoin was at 28,000. When it broke back above it, it went up to about 74,000. here we are. We've been below it since July. I mean, we did get above it a little bit. It was like a very quick dump here. Then we went above it and then immediately went below again after we got rejected. August through now, okay, so basically the last 2 months we've been below this. Once we snap back above this 200-day moving average, I think things are going to get monumentally big, incredibly big, right? So we're right there. And this is the daily chart. We also see we're getting very close to getting a bullish cross with the 21 going back above the 50-day moving average. So that combined more so with the weekly, I think is a lot more important. The stock market as well is going to be huge tomorrow. Let's see how that opens. We did just put in new all-time highs this last week because we got the very first rate cuts. So all of this is fuel to the fire, I think. And realistically, the weekly chart for Bitcoin, I think, is just the biggest chart. We have no actual giant volume resistance above us. It's all below us, okay? This was the hard part. All of this, right? Getting all of this, reclaiming all of these levels was the hard part. Getting above this massive resistance here, and even here around 60K. 60K is like the biggest level close to where we're at. The next biggest is all the way down at like 42, right around 40K. So all of the resistance, there's not much. It's all support basically below us. And this is exactly the type of setup you want to see before things get extremely bullish. I mean, there's no guarantee it'll happen by tomorrow, but the macro setup here has just been insane. And keep in mind, if you're looking at these charts and you're fearful of getting a massive dump, just pull this out of your VP. Look at where all these massive clusters of support are, and look at every time we've tried to get concretely above about 58,000 right here, Bitcoin just gets pushed back above it. I mean, so far has just been, that's kind of like if you, for the last 7 months, just put buy orders around 58K, you continuously just been scooping up every time it comes down here, and then it has so far continued to bounce back. Mostly sideways, but a true bounce back, that's my point. The real bounce, I think, is actually coming, where it's not going to be a bounce, it's more of a second leg up of this bull trend. So not only do I think this is big, I think what is happening is extremely huge. We have the weekly close in just hours. By the time you're watching it, maybe we even have the weekly close. It's going to be absolutely gigantic, I believe. And this is the very first week, fresh week, where watching the stock market along with Bitcoin, things could be extremely big, extremely exciting. And I think things could just get, pumpier than you might ever imagine. And remember, you have 1 week left. Sign up with FEMX below if you want to buy Bitcoin, trade. This is your last chance to sign up to FEMX without having to enter all your information in KYC. So even if you don't plan on trading this week or next month, just sign up now, and then you can, use it in the future if you decide to. Without any further ado.